Hello everyone, Bubbling Moon back again with another installment of Magical Garbage. Today we're talking about a property that's near and dear to my heart. However, before we start talking about the show, I want to set the stage a little bit. So clear your minds and let's go on an astral journey to the mid-90s, where the most popular toy a little girl could own is a hand-launched propeller that only God gets to decide where it lands. These toys were just as dangerous as they were absolutely adorable. And once you launched them, they could end up absolutely anywhere. The first run of these toys were so unpredictable that later iterations would have a mechanism put into them so that they couldn't be launched unless they were turned right side up. But even then, their flight patterns were still wildly unpredictable. They could clip your brother in the back of the head, they could end up in the dishwater, they could end up in a fireplace. Or maybe they'd clip your father in the side of the brow bone and then mysteriously go missing later that night, never to be seen again. So it shouldn't really come as a shock to anybody when after a couple Skydancer-related hospital visits, the toys were pulled off the shelves in the year 2000. But even then, the toy got re-releases in subsequent years because they were just so popular. And it's easy to see why. These gorgeous little dolls that twirl around in the air, it's amazing anybody ever thought that this would be a risky move for a toy company. They thought that flying toys were a gimmick that were only appealing to boys for some reason, but these Skydancers are an absolute knockout. When they were on the shelves, they consistently outsold Barbie and they had a ton of copycats. There were even Sailor Moon ones, and I want one of these so bad. In more recent years, Skydancers have made their way back onto toy shelves, but they've got a different design and they fly with a different mechanism, and even though they're safer, I would say aesthetically, they don't hold a candle to the original. I mean, just look at some of these. How would you not want this? I don't care how many cases of blindness these caused, just sell some pretty matching goggles with them. But just like any great toy of that era, it got a cheaply produced cartoon to help push the product. One of my very first obsessions with the magical girl genre, I even think I saw this show before I saw Sailor Moon, which is wild to think about. But my exposure to the Skydancers show was actually pretty limited. Way back in the day, when I was about 6 years old in the year 2000, the show was already off the air. But Blockbuster had one VHS that had 2 episodes on it, and I rented that thing every other weekend just about for a couple years. Either Kiki's Delivery Service, Nightmare Before Christmas, or Skydancers. Those were my 3 options. And even though I only ever got to really see 2 episodes of the show, I loved this show. When I was a kid, this show thrilled me to no end. I loved the beautiful pastel colors, the background art. It was all just so beautiful, but a lot of it was my child mind making it seem a lot better than it actually looked in reality. When I rewatch this show now, there are plenty of animation mistakes to catch. The dancing doesn't look nearly as nice as it used to when I was younger. Like, there are certain parts where I think they rotoscoped it, and then there are other parts where it just looks so stiff and unnatural. There are times when the wrong voice comes out of the wrong character's mouth. There are times when their mouths don't even move while they're talking.
Bummer.
And of course, this show was produced nearly 30 years ago, so it's not really as progressive or socially conscious as viewers today would expect from a show. But it's actually not as bad as I was anticipating when I started rewatching it. Like, I was expecting much worse from the 90s. But of course, there are some bad messaging things in here, like there's some body shaming, weight shaming, and some cultural insensitivity going on, but to me that just kind of adds to the humor and entertainment value that this show has now. Like, a lot of the dialogue that's written as jokes probably won't make you laugh.
I think I just got a high fry.
But you'll still find yourself chuckling pretty consistently at this show if you choose to watch it.
Let's see the D! All right, you want to see the D? You got it!
The The characters are all steeped in the 90s. It's just dripping off of them how corny they are. Sky Dancers actually gives off a similar vibe to Winx Club, but it's not nearly as polished as Winx Club. You know, if that makes any sense at all. The Sky Dancers dolls were largely personality-less, and they were just there to look cute. But the show actually has 5 characters who have pretty distinct personalities, all things considered. And for the time period, they actually had a pretty diverse cast. We have
Slam!
Even though Angelica seems to get the most storylines out of the entire show, I feel like Jade has more of a main character energy to her. Jade is a ballet student, Camille is a modern dance student, Angelica is a pop and country dance student, so I guess she just line dances a lot. I'll be honest, I feel kind of attacked that the blonde one is the country dancer. I hate country music, and I wish she was just a pop dancer, whatever that would mean. And then we have the boys, because boys can be magical girls too. There is Slam, who has a personality that kind of makes me think of Carlos from the Magic School Bus. He's easily my least favorite character.
Bummer.
Everything down to his color scheme, personality, the way he talks like a Ninja Turtle.
I think I just got a high fry.
I can't stand any of it.
It's my fault. I missed my move.
You messed up, Slam.
Rub it in, why don't you?
Slam studies hip-hop dancing, and I refuse to believe that Slam is the name his parents chose for him. Like, I feel like his real name is Arthur, and as soon as he got to the dance academy, he was like, "No, everybody, my name's Slam, 'cause I'm awesome." Douchebag. The last Sky Dancer is Breeze, and, you know, there's a lot going on with Breeze. He studies Native American dance, and they never get more specific than that.
Showing pride in his Native American heritage, Breeze brings a unique energy to High Hope Dance Academy.
It just feels a little bit weird to me that they only ever refer to him as a Native American who studies Native American dance. That's a pretty broad spectrum. Like, I think he's supposed to be there just to represent all Native people, which is not fantastic, but hey, it's the mid-90s. At least they were trying, I think. All of these dancers take classes at the High Hope Dance Academy, run by Dame Skyla, who is our 6th main good guy character. And Dame Skyla brings a very specific energy to this show. I want you to imagine Miss Farragonda from the Winx Club as young, hot, depressed, and useless. She brings like a very motherly energy to the show, but it's like a depressed single mom who is very supportive of her kids and also does everything with them because she does not want to be alone. Dame Skyla runs a dance school in the human world, but she's also the ruler of the Wingdom, a magical sky kingdom. Quotes around Sky Kingdom, because we'll get into that in later videos. But ever since her husband, King Skylar, sacrificed himself to kill off his evil brother, spoilers, the evil brother is still alive, she decided that, you know, she just doesn't really feel up to being an active ruler, so she went to a different plane of existence to teach children how to dance. And the reason why I call her useless is because she has access to the Sky Swirl Stone, an artifact of great arcane power that she never really uses to any kind of good effect. And then we have the villain of the show, Skyclone, which is a portmanteau of cyclone and sky, because in the Wingdom, everything has to tie back to being related to flight or the sky somehow. But you may notice that cyclones famously come out of the sky. So making a portmanteau of sky and cyclone was completely needless. And what does this rejected Tim Burton character want more than anything else? He wants the Sky Swirl Stone and to take over the kingdom, because when his brother did the death spiral on him, I promise we'll get into that when we start talking about episode 1, his brother King Skylar took away his right of flight. And I'll forgive you if you forget that over and over again, because he constantly flies. I don't know how, like, it took away his wings, but he still flies everywhere, all the time. There's not an episode that features him where he doesn't fly. So I hope you're all ready for a couple more videos about this ridiculous show with its weird little romances, stupid dated slang, and plots that make no sense and actively contradict each other later in the season. And a big shout out to the Jewel Writers Archive website and YouTube channel. While I was doing research for this video, they were a great resource of not just episodes to watch, but also a lot of information that I really wouldn't have known how to find otherwise, just about the production of the toys in the show. If you're interested in the Sky Dancers at all, I highly recommend going over to their YouTube channel and checking out a couple episodes. A very sincere thank you to everybody who watched this far, and everyone who voted for this on the last Magical Garbage episode. Even though I've got a few more Magical Garbage videos to do on Sky Dancers, I'd like to go ahead and start thinking about the next Magical Garbage series I'm going to take a look at. So let's have that vote right now. As always, you can vote on the pinned comment down below. Your choices this time are going to be on the Barbie movie. I recently saw it, loved every second of it. I've got some opinions. Jim and the Holograms. I'm just very into 90s American magical girls right now. I swear I'll get to the more conventional magical girl stuff down the road, but right now I'm having a lot of fun reliving the past. And the final choice is Barbie Island Princess, because I love this ridiculous movie, and I especially love how horrifying this elephant's eyes are. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a spectacular day. That pretty much does it for me. Peace out.